If you've hit 40, let me tell you something most people won't. The choices you make right now will decide whether you spend the next decades full of energy and health, or battling fatigue, stress, and disease. The good news: just 6 simple tricks can change everything, and I'm about to share. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've crossed 40, you already know that life feels a little different. The energy isn't the same, the body doesn't recover as quickly, and those small aches, they show up uninvited. But here's the truth: turning 40 isn't the beginning of the end, it can be the start of the healthiest, longest chapter of your life. Today, I want to share with you 6 powerful tricks that can help you not only add years to your life, but life to your years. But before we start, make sure to like and comment number 1 movement when you reach your 40s. One of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself is the gift of movement. Think of your body as a finely tuned machine. A car that sits in the garage for years without being driven will gather dust, the tires will flatten, the battery will die, and the engine will rust. Your muscles, joints, and bones work in the same way. If you stop moving, if you allow long hours of sitting to become your default way of living, the body begins to stiffen, weaken, and age faster than it should. Movement is the antidote. It keeps your engine running, your joints lubricated, and your muscles alive with energy. Now, when I say movement, I'm not talking about punishing yourself in the gym or chasing after extreme fitness challenges that leave you exhausted and sore. It's not about running marathons or lifting the heaviest weights. Movement in your 40s is about consistency, not intensity. It's about finding ways to keep the body active every single day in ways that are sustainable and enjoyable. A brisk 30-minute walk in the morning, a simple stretching routine before bed, or climbing stairs instead of waiting for the elevator. These are small but powerful habits that build resilience over time. Science shows us that after the age of 40, muscle mass naturally starts to decline. This process is called sarcopenia, and it's one of the key reasons people lose strength, balance, and mobility as they age. But here's the encouraging truth: this decline is not inevitable. You can fight it, and you can win. Simple strength training, bodyweight exercises like push-ups, squats, or resistance band workouts, helps preserve muscle, strengthen bones, and keep your metabolism alive and active. Even light strength work a few times a week can make the difference between staying independent and mobile in your 70s or struggling with basic daily tasks. Movement also protects your heart. Cardiovascular exercise like walking, cycling, or swimming strengthens the most important muscle of all, the heart itself. It lowers blood pressure, improves circulation, and reduces the risk of heart disease, which becomes a greater concern as the years advance. It's not just about living longer. It's about keeping your heart strong enough to support the life you want to live. And don't forget about flexibility and balance. At 40 and beyond, falls and injuries become more common, and often they have life-changing consequences. Incorporating yoga, pilates, or simple balance exercises like standing on one foot can greatly improve stability. Flexibility routines loosen stiff joints and prevent painful conditions like lower back pain or frozen shoulders. A body that can bend, twist, and stretch with ease is a body that feels youthful, no matter the number of candles on the birthday cake. Perhaps the most overlooked benefit of movement is what it does for the mind. Regular physical activity releases endorphins, the body's natural mood boosters. It reduces anxiety, combats depression, and sharpens memory. It is no exaggeration to say that movement is one of the most powerful medicines for mental health. At 40, when responsibilities pile up and stress often runs high, this becomes not just helpful but essential. Number 2, eat smart. Not less food is more than just calories. It is information for your body. Every bite you take sends a message, either helping your body repair, energize, and thrive, or pushing it toward inflammation, disease, and fatigue. After 40, the body's metabolism naturally slows, hormone levels begin to shift, and the digestive system may not work as efficiently as it once did. This makes food choices more important than ever before. At this stage of life, it's not about eating less, it's about eating smarter. Quality matters more than quantity, and what you choose to put on your plate directly impacts how well you age. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is focusing on whole nutrient-dense foods. Vegetables of every color should dominate your plate because each hue carries unique compounds that protect your health. Dark leafy greens like spinach and kale are loaded with vitamins and minerals that support bone strength. Bright red tomatoes are rich in lycopene, which protects the heart. Purple foods like blueberries and eggplants are packed with antioxidants that fight memory decline. By choosing variety, you are essentially giving your body a full spectrum of protection against age-related issues. Protein becomes especially critical after 40. With natural muscle loss beginning around this age, you need more high-quality protein to maintain strength and preserve lean tissue. This doesn't mean turning to heavy portions of red meat every day. It means adding clean sources like fish, chicken, eggs, beans, lentils, and nuts. Pairing protein with movement creates a powerful defense against weakness, fragility, and the creeping decline of metabolism. When your body gets the right amount of protein, it burns calories more efficiently, repairs tissues more effectively, and keeps you feeling fuller longer, preventing the weight gain that often sneaks in during these years. Healthy fats also deserve a place in your diet. For decades, fat was painted as the enemy, but research shows the right kinds of fat actually protect your brain, your heart, and your hormones. Omega-3 fatty acids from sources like salmon, walnuts, and flax seeds reduce inflammation, sharpen memory, and keep blood vessels flexible. Monounsaturated fats from olive oil and avocados support cholesterol balance and improve nutrient absorption. By choosing these fats, you're not just fueling your body, you're protecting your mind. At the same time, it's crucial to reduce the silent saboteurs, sugar and processed foods. Hidden sugars are everywhere: sauces, breads, cereals, even foods marketed as healthy. Excess sugar speeds up aging at the cellular level, fuels weight gain, and raises the risk of diabetes. Processed foods, loaded with preservatives, refined oils, and empty calories, rob your body of energy and create inflammation that slowly wears you down. Cutting back on these doesn't mean deprivation. It means making room for foods that actually give back to your health. Hydration is another overlooked element of eating smart. Many people mistake thirst for hunger and end up consuming unnecessary calories. Drinking enough water not only supports digestion but also helps regulate temperature, cushion joints, and keep skin vibrant. A well-hydrated body simply functions better. Mindful eating plays a role as well. Rushed meals eaten in front of a screen often lead to overeating and poor digestion. Taking time to chew thoroughly, savor flavors, and listen to your body's cues helps prevent excess intake and improves nutrient absorption. Eating becomes not just a habit, but a conscious act of caring for yourself. Number 3. Guard your sleep. Sleep is often seen as downtime, something that simply happens when the day is over. But in reality, it is one of the most active and vital processes your body goes through. When you reach your 40s, the importance of sleep increases dramatically because this is the stage where recovery and repair can determine how well you function the next day and how gracefully you age over the coming decades. Sleep is the time when your body restores balance, heals tissues, regulates hormones, and resets the brain. Without enough of it, every system in your body begins to suffer. One of the key things sleep does is regulate hormones, particularly those that control hunger, stress, and energy. When you cut your sleep short, the hormone ghrelin, which triggers hunger, rises, while leptin, the hormone that signals fullness, falls. The result is increased cravings, especially for sugary and starchy foods, which leads to weight gain over time. Cortisol, the stress hormone, also rises with sleep deprivation, putting strain on the heart and immune system. At 40 and beyond, when metabolism has already slowed, this imbalance becomes even more damaging, setting the stage for diabetes, hypertension, and stubborn belly fat. Sleep is also the time when your brain cleans itself. During deep sleep, a system called the glymphatic system flushes away toxins and waste proteins that build up during the day. Some of these waste products are linked to memory decline and neurodegenerative conditions. Without enough deep sleep, your brain cannot fully reset, leading to fogginess, poor concentration, and faster cognitive decline. This is why consistently short nights of rest don't just leave you tired, they actually shorten your ability to stay mentally sharp as you age. Physical repair takes place while you sleep as well. Muscles damaged from daily use or exercise rebuild stronger during rest. Bones regenerate, and the immune system produces infection-fighting cells and proteins. If you cut sleep short, the body doesn't have time to complete these repairs, leaving you more vulnerable to illness, slower to recover from injuries, and less able to adapt to physical stress. In your 40s, when natural healing already slows, skipping sleep magnifies these challenges. Creating an environment for good sleep becomes critical. Exposure to screens and artificial light late at night tricks the brain into thinking it's still daytime, suppressing the release of melatonin, the hormone that signals your body it's time to rest. Simple changes like dimming the lights, avoiding electronics before bed, and keeping your bedroom cool and dark can dramatically improve sleep quality. Establishing a consistent bedtime and waking schedule trains your body to fall asleep faster and reach the deep, restorative stages of sleep more reliably. Nutrition and lifestyle choices also influence rest. Caffeine consumed late in the day lingers in the system and disrupts the body's ability to enter deep sleep. Heavy meals too close to bedtime can trigger indigestion and discomfort that prevent restful sleep. Alcohol may make you drowsy at first, but it fragments sleep cycles, leaving you groggy the next morning. By paying attention to these habits, you protect the sacred hours of rest that your body depends on. Beyond the physical benefits, sleep is directly linked to emotional health. People who sleep well are more resilient, more positive, and better able to handle stress. Without proper rest, emotions become harder to regulate, irritability rises, and the risk of anxiety or depression grows. In your 40s, when responsibilities often pile high with career, family, and financial pressures, sleep becomes a stabilizing anchor for mental well-being. Number 4, stress less. Leave more stress is often described as the silent killer, and for good reason. You cannot see it, you cannot always measure it, but it leaves a deep imprint on nearly every organ system in the body. After 40, the effects of stress become even more pronounced because the body's resilience is not the same as it once was. The constant demands of work, family, finances, and health responsibilities create a cycle where the body stays on high alert far longer than it was ever designed to. This state of ongoing tension is harmful because it keeps stress hormones, particularly cortisol, elevated. While cortisol is useful in short bursts, chronic elevation weakens the immune system, raises blood pressure, increases blood sugar levels, and accelerates the aging process. One of the most damaging effects of prolonged stress is its impact on the heart. When you are under pressure, your heart rate quickens, your blood vessels constrict, and your blood pressure spikes. This response is meant for emergencies, yet many people live in this state for weeks or even years. Over time, this constant strain wears down the cardiovascular system, increasing the risk of heart attack, stroke, and other circulatory problems. At midlife, when risks are already climbing, unchecked stress becomes one of the strongest predictors of disease. The digestive system also feels the weight of stress. Many people notice indigestion, heartburn, or irritable bowel flare-ups when life feels overwhelming. Stress alters the balance of gut bacteria, slows down nutrient absorption, and can trigger inflammation in the digestive tract. This is not just about discomfort. Poor digestion affects the way your body extracts vitamins, minerals, and energy from food. In the long run, that means stress can silently rob you of the very nutrition needed to keep you healthy and strong. The brain is deeply influenced by stress as well. Prolonged exposure to cortisol changes the structure of the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and learning. This is why chronic stress is linked to forgetfulness, difficulty concentrating, and even dementia later in life. It also disrupts the delicate balance of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which are vital for mood stability. The result is heightened anxiety, irritability, or even depression. For people in their 40s, who may already be balancing intense responsibilities, this can create a loop where stress undermines mental health, and poor mental health makes handling stress even harder. Managing stress effectively does not mean eliminating all challenges. It means reshaping the way the body and mind respond to them. Simple practices such as deep breathing, mindfulness meditation, or gentle yoga help signal the nervous system to shift from fight-or flight mode into a state of rest and repair. Regular physical activity also serves as a powerful stress buffer, releasing endorphins that lift mood and lower cortisol levels. Even something as basic as spending time outdoors, feeling the sun on your skin, or walking barefoot on grass can reduce stress hormones significantly. Social connections play an essential role in stress management. Isolation magnifies pressure, while talking, laughing, or simply sharing time with others provides emotional release and perspective. Strong relationships create a sense of belonging and security, which naturally calms the body's stress response. At this stage of life, nurturing friendships and family bonds is not just about companionship. It is about survival. Lifestyle adjustments also make a difference. Setting boundaries with technology, especially reducing constant exposure to work emails or negative news, prevents the brain from staying on high alert. Learning to say no, prioritizing what truly matters, and giving yourself permission to rest are skills that preserve energy and reduce overwhelm. Even structured routines, like carving out a few minutes each morning for gratitude or prayer, create a mental anchor that steadies the mind through the day. Number 5. Build strong connections. Human beings are wired for connection. From the moment we are born until the end of life, relationships shape our physical health, our mental well-being, and even our longevity. After the age of 40, when careers, families, and responsibilities often pull people in different directions, it becomes easy to neglect friendships and social ties. Yet this is precisely the time when nurturing strong connections becomes one of the most powerful strategies for living a longer, healthier life. Loneliness is not just an emotion. Research shows it is as harmful to the body as smoking or obesity. Social isolation increases the risk of heart disease, weakens immunity, and shortens lifespan. On the other hand, people with strong social bonds recover faster from illness, cope better with stress, and report higher levels of happiness. One reason connections matter so deeply is their effect on stress. Sharing thoughts, laughter, or even quiet company helps lower cortisol levels and triggers the release of oxytocin, a hormone that fosters trust and calm. This biochemical shift doesn't just improve mood. It directly supports cardiovascular health and lowers blood pressure. A heartfelt conversation with a friend or the simple act of sitting with loved ones creates physiological changes that strengthen the body's ability to withstand daily challenges. Over time, these small but consistent moments of connection build resilience against both emotional strain and physical decline. Relationships also provide accountability for healthy living. A walking partner encourages consistency in exercise. A spouse or close friend can gently remind you to eat better, rest more, or follow through on medical appointments. Being part of a community creates a web of expectations and encouragement that make it easier to stick to positive habits. This sense of being seen and supported can mean the difference between giving up on a healthy goal and staying committed long enough to see lasting results. Strong connections feed the mind as well. Conversations stimulate memory, problem solving, and creativity. Group activities, whether it's a book club, a religious gathering, or even a casual game night, challenge the brain in ways solitary routines cannot. For people over 40, when cognitive decline becomes a real concern, social interaction is one of the most effective ways to keep the mind sharp. Unlike passive activities such as watching television, engaging with others requires active listening, quick thinking, and emotional awareness, all of which strengthen neural pathways. Emotional support is another crucial dimension. Life after 40 often comes with transitions: children leaving home, career changes, aging parents, and shifting identities. Having trusted people to share these experiences with prevents the heavy weight of stress from turning into isolation or despair. Friends and loved ones offer perspective, remind us of our strengths, and provide comfort during loss or uncertainty. This emotional scaffolding gives people the confidence to navigate life's changes without being overwhelmed. Even physical health is shaped by connection. Studies show that people in fulfilling relationships have stronger immune systems, heal faster after surgery, and show lower levels of chronic inflammation. The reason is simple. Positive relationships encourage the release of chemicals that regulate immunity and reduce harmful stress responses. Being around others also promotes healthier behaviors, whether it's cooking nourishing meals together, going for walks, or simply sharing laughter that boosts circulation and relaxes the body. In today's digital world, it can feel like social media has replaced real interaction. But meaningful connection requires more than a like or a comment. It requires presence. Eye contact, tone of voice, touch, and shared experiences create bonds that virtual interaction cannot fully replicate. Investing time in face-to-face contact, family dinners, phone calls, and genuine conversations is a decision that pays dividends not only in emotional satisfaction, but in years of healthier living. Number 6, keep learning and challenging your brain. The brain is like a muscle, and just like muscles in the body, it grows stronger when challenged and weaker when neglected. After 40, the need to keep the mind active becomes even more important, because this is the stage when mental decline can quietly begin if the brain is not stimulated regularly. Memory lapses, slower recall, and difficulty learning new things are often seen as natural signs of aging, but in truth, they are often the result of underuse. The brain thrives on novelty, problem solving, and challenge. When you expose it to new information and experiences, you build what scientists call cognitive reserve, the brain's ability to adapt, create new connections, and protect itself from decline. One of the most effective ways to keep the brain sharp is through continuous learning. This does not necessarily mean formal education. It can be as simple as reading books, taking up a new hobby, or exploring unfamiliar subjects. Every time you learn something new, you are literally strengthening neural pathways and creating fresh ones. This process improves memory, focus, and problem-solving skills. Learning a new language, playing a musical instrument, or mastering a new recipe are all examples of activities that force the brain to adapt and grow. Mental exercise is as important as physical exercise. Just as the body becomes stiff without movement, the brain becomes sluggish without stimulation. Games that involve strategy, such as chess, crosswords, Sudoku, or even certain digital brain training activities, challenge different parts of the brain and keep them active. These activities are not just entertainment. They train the brain to think critically, adapt quickly, and recall information more efficiently. They also encourage creativity, which helps the brain stay flexible in approaching new problems. Social engagement is another powerful way to stimulate the mind. Conversations require listening, memory, empathy, and quick thinking, all of which activate different brain regions. Group discussions, debates, or collaborative projects naturally challenge the brain to stay alert and adaptable. Even storytelling, whether you are sharing a memory or listening to someone else's experience, strengthens memory and comprehension. For people over 40, These simple interactions beck me mental workouts that preserve cognitive strength. Physical health and brain health are closely linked. Regular aerobic exercise increases blood flow to the brain, delivering oxygen and nutrients that keep neurons healthy. It also promotes the release of growth factors that encourage the formation of new brain cells. Pairing physical activity with mental challenges multiplies the benefits. For example, dancing combines movement with coordination, rhythm, and memory, making it one of the most effective activities for both body and brain. Nutrition also plays a role in supporting ongoing learning and mental sharpness. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and vitamins like B12 and D protect the brain from inflammation and degeneration. Hydration, too, is crucial, as even mild dehydration can impair focus and memory. Fueling the brain properly ensures that mental efforts translate into lasting benefits. Another overlooked way to challenge the brain is to step outside of routine. Routines make life easier but also allow the brain to go on autopilot. Trying new routes to work, cooking different cuisines, or engaging in activities outside of comfort zones forces the brain to stay alert. The small discomfort of novelty creates growth, and over time this habit of seeking new experiences builds resilience against decline. The emotional state of the mind also affects its ability to learn. Chronic stress and anxiety interfere with memory formation and concentration, while curiosity and joy enhance learning. Approaching new challenges with a playful, open mind set not only makes the experience enjoyable, but also strengthens the brain's ability to absorb and retain information. A curious brain is a healthy brain, and curiosity can be cultivated at any age. So when you step back and look at it all, moving your body with intention, eating smart and nourishing foods, protecting your sleep, managing stress, building strong connections, and keeping your brain challenged, begin to see a simple truth. Living a long, healthy life after 40 isn't about one dramatic change or chasing the next quick fix. It's about small, consistent choices that, day after day, shape your future. Every walk you take, every meal you improve, every night of quality rest, every deep breath to calm your mind, every moment spent with loved ones, and every new skill you learn. Each one is an investment. An investment in a body that stays strong, a mind that stays sharp, and a life that stays full of meaning. The power to live longer, healthier, and happier is already in your hands. All you need to do is begin.